New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It's 5 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for our good news. That opportunity I get to share some of the good news stories that I have found throughout the week and want to make sure you're aware of. Great conversation starters and great opportunities to ponder and meditate upon the good news that's happening out in the world today. And for those that watch this program, number one, we get a lot of our news over at thegoodnewsnetwork.org. They do a fabulous job of curating the good news, and we love to give them some love and attention. Hop on over to their website, give them some views as well. And many of our stories tonight do include video segments that you can find over there on the Good News Network for further information. All right. And number two, for many of you that know me and know this program, I love to focus on some of the technological breakthroughs that are happening that lead us towards a better planet in the future. Today, our lead story is a breakthrough in fuel cell recycling that has the opportunity to turn PFAS. So we've talked about PFAS before on this program, that can turn these forever chemicals into renewable resources, and it's all happening using sound waves. Researchers at the University of Leicester in England have achieved a major milestone in fuel cell recycling, developing a technique to effectively separate valuable catalyst materials from the fluorinated polymer membranes, the PFAS, often, and which are, again, we refer to as the forever chemicals. This new method addresses critical environmental challenges. Fuel cells and water electrolyzers are essentially components of hydrogen-powered systems that power cars, trains, buses, and they depend on catalyst-coated membranes containing precious platinum group metals. What you're seeing in our video, in our graphic here, is a catalyst loaded membrane versus one that's been cleaned of all its PFAS. The method is simple and scalable, said Dr. Jake Yang, working in the university's chemistry department. We can now separate PFAS membranes from precious metals without harsh chemicals, revolutionizing how we can recycle these fuel cells. Fuel cells have been heralded for a long time as the breakthrough technology for clean energy, but the high cost of platinum group metals has been seen as a limitation. Now, because of the success of this study, a follow-up has been ordered, and we're going to continue to dig deeper, as it were, into this story. And speaking of digging deeper, China has created, they're mining their own waste stream. Yeah. China, the largest producer of solar panels, batteries, and EVs, are seeing in these valuable products equally valuable opportunities for recycling and therefore revenue. The China Resource Recycling Group, created by the State Council last year, is seeking to bring together businesses with the expertise and infrastructure to recycle offline e-waste in larger quantities for its lithium, cobalt, copper, gold, aluminum, and nickel. According to the national publication Economic Daily, the trade in recycled materials from wind and solar power and EV batteries has grown to an enormous sum of over $38.5 billion per year, and more than double of what the U.S. market for solar recycling was predicted to be by 2050. More than the current market for recycling both solar panels and lithium-ion batteries. So what they're doing is Chinese manufacturers are mining their own waste. There's a huge potential in the business of new energy waste, because new energy is where China and the world are going. What an amazing story. Recycling all the waste to, well, find a new way forward. Perhaps we can look into this. I think there's a lot of things we can look into. See, there's good news happening all over the world, folks, no matter where we look. And sometimes it's in the strangest of places that we find good news in the world of technology. Recent discoveries in microbial digestion of plastics have finally left the lab and entered the real world in the form of the Hero diapers, the world's first diaper manufacturer to be eaten by fungi. Mushrooms are a good thing. Every year, over 18 billion diapers are discarded into the U.S. landfills alone, and they aren't manufactured with natural cellulose, then they're going to be there for at least 500 years. Microplastics and chemicals leaking into the soil. With that unfortunate truth happening, there is a new way. A pair of serial entrepreneurs have developed diapers designed to be broken down into soil by fungus, and they're practically flying off the shelves. They're called Hero Digestible Diaper, playing off the mitochondria. It comes in a small packet of shelf-stable plastic-eating fungi. Parents simply throw the packet away with the used diaper, and no extra steps are required. Once the diaper reaches the landfill, the fungi activate in the presence of moisture and begin to break down the diaper's materials from the inside out. These fungi secrete enzymes that target and sever the carbon bonds in the plastic, and transforming the waste into mycelium and nutrient-rich soil over time. The article does not say how much time is necessary. While plastic-eating fungi were first discovered by scientists over a decade ago, their potential has remained locked in the labs until now. Hero has pioneered a commercial shelf-stable fungi technology that targets plastic at a molecular level, breaking it down into soil and mycelium, the root system of fungi. Mushrooms, eating the poop. The moment the diapers are available on a subscription basis, a week's supply plus wet wipes and the fungal spore packets are only $35 a week. My kids are grown. I don't know what the going cost is anymore. That's why we did cloth diapers for a long time. Mycelium. We'll keep an ear open and an eye open on this story, folks, and bring you more as we learn more. Hey, let's take a look at some of the good stuff that's happening in our natural world. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break, let a couple of our sponsors say hello. But we got a whole lot more good news coming up right after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the Convention of the Americas 2025, Rising Together. Join us for a truly bilingual retreat experience on the shores of the beautiful Lake Chapala, Mexico. July 22nd through July 26th, 2025, at the Hotel Villa Monte Carlo in Jalisco, Mexico. Featuring Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, Dr. Jose de Lira Sosa, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis, Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, and Reverend Dr. David Bruner. Registration is now open, and payment plans are available. Simply visit www.conventionoftheamericas.com. Come be part of a transformative gathering with powerful presentations, workshops, networking time, and just good old relaxing and connecting. Plus, you can learn more about the science of mind and how to live this powerful philosophy in your life. Transform your life at Convention of the Americas 2025, Rising Together.
And we're back with more of the good news here on a Friday night. Thanks for being with us, folks. So grateful you're part of what we're doing here on New Thought Media Network. All right, we've got some nature stories for you tonight, and the first one's coming from Antarctica. The good news is we're gaining ice. I know you've heard a lot of news in the past years about losing ice, but we're gaining ice. The Antarctic ice sheet loss has averaged around 147 gigatons per year for the period between 2010 and 2020. And that now a remarkable reversal occurred at the opening of this past decade, right? Written in China Earth Sciences, researchers at the Tongli University, led by Dr. Wei Wang and Professor Yongshan Chen, reported that eastern Antarctica's Wilkes Land and East Maryland region recorded a 108 gigaton average ice sheet mass gain per year from 2021 to 2023. So we were losing 140 gigatons a year for 10 years. We're gaining 108 gigatons for 3 years. That's a good start. A gigaton is equivalent to 1 billion tons. Wow. This is good news, folks. Given that now that we're in 2025, the scientists admit they don't know if the trend in refreezing has continued or is reversing again. But given the amount of precipitation was unusual, the scientists caution against assuming the trend will simply continue. We must continue to be vigilant towards our efforts to maintain the planet's temperature and not allow for increased temperature gains. Trend lines had the ice sheet increasing in size by the end of the final downturn without recording the subsequent upturn in the data. Melting of the Antarctic ice sheet is the single largest contributor to sea level rise, along with the Greenland ice sheet. Together, they hold most of the planet's water. Sounds like good news to me, folks, and we're going to keep an eye on that. Let's keep our prayers up and keep recognizing that there is a way forward for our planet, and we can let that planet heal. And sometimes that healing happens in ways I don't quite understand. Back to the story of microplastics. The substances behind the strings from okra and the gel from the fenugreek seeds could trap microplastics better than a commonly used synthetic polymer. Now, Texas researchers are bringing us this story. They proposed back in 2022 using sticky natural polymers to clean up water. Now, they've found that okra and or the fenugreek extracts attracted and removed up to 90% of microplastics from ocean water, freshwater, and groundwater. With the funding from the U.S. Department of Energy, Rajani Sribanisan and colleagues at Tarleton State University found that the plant-based polymers from okra, fenugreek, and tamarind stick to microplastics, basically clumping together and sinking for an easier separation from the water. In the next stage of the research, They've optimized the process for okra and fenugreek extracts and tested results in a variety of types of water. To extract the sticky plant polymers, the team soaked sliced okra pods and blended fenugreek seeds in separate containers of water overnight. And then researchers removed the dissolved extracts from each solution and dried them into powders. Each gram of either powder in a quart, 1 liter of water, trapped microplastics the most effectively. I knew there had to be a reason for okra. All right. If you like okra, I apologize for that, but I never liked okra. And here, okra polymers are going to help, might be the solution to cleaning the microplastics. What an amazing story. And hey, we've got another one here. This one coming to us from the European beaches, from the Baltic to the Aegean. Litter is disappearing. All this according to a new report that it's in its latest EU coastline macro litter trend report. Actually, the Joint Research Center of the European Union has found that between 2015 and 2021, total beach litter has fallen 30%, with the biggest reductions seen in single-use plastic items. The density was measured in pieces per 100 meters. Fishery-related items decreased by 20%, as were plastic bags. The beaches that improved the most were concentrated around the Baltic, while despite the enormity of the Mediterranean, it too experienced a dramatic decline, over 38%. People stopped throwing away their plastic. Good news, if you ask me. Real good news happening in the European beaches. All right. And hey, every week, folks, we like to focus on a series of stories on heroes in the world. And we had so many this week that I want to share one here before the break, because this crosses over into our nature segment. Without hesitation, Charity Clark, while paddleboarding with friends near Big Pine Key off the coast of Florida, was able to rescue a shark tangled up in a fishing rope, all with her bare hands. This all happened on March 26th, when they noticed a crab trap buoy behaving unusually before spotting the white outline of a shark. The shark was upside down and motionless in the water, with its body tightly wrapped from tail to mouth in a thick line. Charity jumped into action. She gently lifted the shark and began untangling yards of rope from its body. It was just instinct, said the 43-year-old photographer from Big Pine Key. I didn't even think twice. I saw this animal in distress and just knew I had to help. Charity believes the shark was in a tonic state, a natural trance-like condition that makes the animal temporarily immobile, and a state that allowed her to work on the ropes unhindered. She said she wasn't scared, but let out a loud scream when the shark suddenly came to life and started to wrestle with the ropes. I can imagine. Oh my gosh. Golly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Charity, for being a good part of what's happening in the world and sharing that your skills. What a great story. Saving the shark. All right, folks, we need to take one more quick break and let a couple more of our folks say hello. And most especially, we want to say thank you to our organizational sponsors and individual donors. Please don't go away. Stay with us here for just another minute as we say thank you. And then it's into our hero of the week for the week. You're going to love this series of stories we got coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center. Begin Within Ministries. Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Unity of Savannah. And the Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you to all of our individual sponsors and organizational donors. It's thanks to folks like you that we're able to make this all possible and share this message out into the world. Perhaps you can help. Head on over to our website, ntmedia.org. Click on that donate button, fill out the form, and make it a monthly donation. We'll add you to our next thank you video. All right, back into it with the good news. It's all about doing the right thing, and this is Stephen Cash. Stephen's an Amazon driver in San Antonio, and being praised for his unexpected and selfless act of kindness while delivering packages recently. Stephen noticed a neighbor's doorbell to someone he was delivering to. A neighbor's doorbell camera had fallen off their door. Even though it wasn't part of his delivery, Stephen picked it up and spent several minutes trying to reattach the doorbell. He took time out of his day to fix it for me, which was such a kind thing to do, said Kate Rusvold, who was the camera's owner. He picked it up off of the ground and it wasn't working. He spent the time, multiple minutes, just trying to make sure it wasn't going to fall again. He was pushing on it, and in multiple rounds of videos, the Ring camera captured Stephen doing his work. Now, Stephen didn't deliver a package to Kate's home, so she wasn't able to track him down, but posted the video on social media, hoping somebody would recognize the man. She said, "I couldn't give him a 5-star rating because he didn't deliver a package to me, but he deserved to be recognized, and I'm hoping this helps reach him." The video quickly went viral, gaining millions of views around San Antonio. A local news affiliate picked up the story and arranged for the two to meet after Cash called in to say he thought he was the man. He thinks he was the man on the video. The two were reunited, and as part of the station's Cash for Kindness series, Stephen was awarded $1,000 for going above and beyond without expecting anything in return. Thank you, Stephen, for being one of the good news stories in the world, for helping people in the world. And our next story, folks, this one's got to warm your heart. All the way from Gulfport, Mississippi, patients at Memorial Hospital in Gulfport received a special surprise when 3 window washers descended from above dressed as superheroes. As part of the National Hospital Week, the trio, dressed as Superman, Mr. Incredible, and Batman, rappelled down the building, waving to patients and bringing joy to everyone watching. The cheerful crew didn't stop at just waving. At the pediatric floor, they played tic-tac-toe with children through the windows and created magical moments that lit up the young faces with smiles. "We love to give back to our community," said Jeff Wallace, who was suited up as Mr. Incredible. For Wallace, this visit held special meaning. "This is a special place for my wife and me because a long time ago, we spent a long time in intensive care here, and we made it. So we really have a great admiration for this hospital," he shared. "I am sure you do, sir, and thank you to all of these gentlemen for bringing a smile to, I'm sure, so many faces as we move, as they rappelling down the building. As we needed I love it. Gotta love it. All right, here we go, folks. More good news. It's time from Fresno, California. A remarkable act of compassion played out on California Highway 41 when a woman brought traffic to a halt to rescue a dog in danger. Nicole Campo Rocha was driving southbound when she spotted a dog stranded in traffic. Without hesitation, she stopped in the fast lane and crossed all 3 lanes of the busy highway to reach the frightened animal. on the opposite side. In a rare and touching show of empathy, every driver on the road waited patiently. There was no honking, no swearing. Nicole retrieved the dog and placed him safely into her vehicle. The heartwarming moment was captured on video by a commuter headed to work. The local TV station later identified Nicole as the Good Samaritan, and she shared that it was her first time rescuing animals and felt compelled to act as soon as she saw the dog on the road. Nicole described the condition of the dog, noting he was covered in foxtails and his collar was painfully tight. When I went to pick him up, the poor guy had so many foxtails you could see me jerk. A lady asked me, "Oh my gosh, did he bite you?" And no, he was the sweetest boy ever. But the foxtails were just awful. She also recalled being worried about holding up traffic, but was moved by the support of the other drivers. Everybody behind me was in the perfect 2 lanes. They were actually really cool, and everything worked out. After the rescue, Nicole contacted the Fresno Humane Society, and the dog is now receiving the care it needs. Thank you, Nicole, again, for being part of the solution, part of what's making life work for everyone. And here it is, folks. I promise it. Each and every week, here is our hero of the week. In Somerset County, Pennsylvania, in the midst of dangerous flooding, one man's courageous actions turned a terrifying moment into a powerful story of heroism and hope. Ethan Todd is recognized for his bravery after he rescued 2 women trapped in their vehicle as floodwaters surged around them. The dramatic video was captured on camera by his girlfriend, who posted the videos to Facebook. Lauren St. Clair said the couple came across the submerged vehicle during Tuesday's afternoon floods, and without hesitation, Todd rushed into the fast-moving water. He safely reached the stranded vehicle and carried both women to dry ground, one by one on his back. And it didn't stop there. Todd then waded back into the water to retrieve the women's purses, making sure they didn't lose their IDs and belongings in all the chaos. In her Facebook post, St. Clair praised Todd, writing, True believers in everything happens for a reason. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before, and my baby is a hero. Yes, he is. In the time when natural disasters often bring fear and uncertainty, Ethan Todd's selfless act served as a reminder that everyday heroes are all around us, ready to step up when it matters most. Yes, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, sir. Ethan Todd, you are our hero of the week. Such a great story. That's about all I've got time for, folks. Thanks for being with us here tonight on the New Thought Media Network. You can check out our past shows of the good news on our archive pages, playlisted on our YouTube, and check that out. And as a podcast, wherever you might get your audio podcasts, you'll find the good news. Just do a search for New Thought Media Network. I'm Dr. Robert. I'm going to get out of here for now, let you get back into the rest of your Friday evening. But please tune in just a half an hour with Pastor Michael Mangus and Reverend Jeff Radcliffe are here with the Fireside Chat. Always a fun conversation on Friday evenings. So join us in just a half an hour. I'm Dr. Robert. Until next time, I want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.